Jay-Z and Foxy, huh?
Uh-huh. Man. 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 Hope ain't slick. Nah. My mama. Niggas sending me stuff like it's a motherfucking, like niggas know it's gonna be a gift or something. What the hell? Don't send me no damn screenshots, nigga.
Niggas thirsty as hell. Every broadcast, they getting
Yeah, don't send me no screenshots, nigga.
Every motherfucker.
Niggas trying to get that.
Hit that fucking like button.
Niggas trying to get the gift gate.
Gift gate.
Gift gate.
So I lean with it. Doing the right things. It's like showbiz. No lie. Ballin'. It's like nigga around tomorrow. Gonna know tomorrow. What you all about?
For real? Wow.
What week is this? 14, right?
Give me a second.
I'm 12-1 with a bye. Yep, week 14. Yep.
Somebody going to the league?
Yeah, that's why I ain't saying shit yet. Wait for that shit to switch out. Matter of fact, let me circle out. I got it.
Everything set?
I'm about to do it right now. Panthers get the force, 50-50 Steelers, Bengals. We in the building.
score.
Bang. Alright, now here we go. Let's talk that shit. Niggas was in the playoffs, now they out the playoffs, still got one more chance though. You know what I'm talking about? You get one more chance to be in the dance, to be the best. And while we're waiting for all that, you know we got the playoff picture tonight. AntHits the franchise guru. I'm on deck. I'm on deck with Hitter the Spitter. He don't like me calling him Hitter the Spitter, so I'm gonna be saying this like this. I'm on head with Hitter, the motherfucker. What I'm calling Hitter, man. He don't like it. Just fuck it. I'm on deck with Hitter. I'm on deck with Falky, King Falky the GOAT. I'm on deck with Maximus. Maximus is in the building. Nano's here. We missing half the other crew. I don't see no Guns. I don't see no Rob. I don't see motherfucking Craig. I don't see motherfucker who else? Where my boy Antonio? Where Guns at? We don't see no Guns. Oh, Guns in the building. You know, finally getting some time to myself. Mom Duke's off the surgery, the hip surgery and all that good shit. Been a pain in the ass. I'm in and out of chat like a motherfucker, but I'm here right now. So let's get to it. How many guys gonna have one more chance to get in that dance? You know what I'm talking about? Gucci down to the socks, filled with rocks, and your Mitsubishi. All right, fellas, let's get to the conversations, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. We got the playoff tree to talk about, man. We gotta find out who's where at this moment. We got the top 10. You know, you got the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. We're getting down to the final, man. This is, you know, we're getting close to the end of the Game of Thrones. We got the quarterbacks to talk about in this year's draft, the real draft too, man. Wow. We got, you know, some games to talk about, players that played some good games, niggas that got aired, you know what I'm saying? Good things like that. But right now, you know, Hitters in the building, so we got to start with the Game of Thrones top 10. We call it the BCS, even though we in the NFL, but that's my boy Hitters. He calls it the BCS top 10 rankings. So we're going to start with the stankin' tanking and see who's doing motherfucking what, when, where, and how. You know what I'm talking about? And while we're worrying about all that, I don't know if Hitter's going to run down this top 10 or not. So, you know, us, we do everything by the fly. So hopefully he's going to start this shit off. If he don't, then I'm right here. But our number one team on the list right now, hold up. First of all, we got some teams with some markings next to them. Guys got letters next to their names right now. Oh shit, very important. So we got guys that's guaranteed locked in the playoffs. We got some guys that's guaranteed locked the division down. And you know, and we got guys that's on the cuffs that's waiting for that letter to go next to their name. Is it gonna be a Y? Is it gonna be an X? I don't think. I mean, ain't it a Z too sometimes, fellas?
Yeah.
It's also a Z. What does Z say out? You won a conference. I mean, you're the first place in the conference. So will we see a Z or game?
Not yet. It should be coming soon. He'll probably be coming like week 17.
All right. Well, we'll see it when we see it. It's coming. It's coming, Hollywood. It's coming. It gotta be an end of the season situation, Hollywood. All right. Let's talk about this situation right now. At number one right now. At number one. No Skadime. Skadime's not around right now. He chilling. He on vacation. Skadime is chilling right now. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So the number one team in the league right now, overall record, still undefeated. Right now got the Miami Dolphins, the 72 Miami Dolphins, shaking in their boots right now. Shaking in your boots, a visible bully. Like the Vavoosh, you whacked me. Take them rides back to the factory. I see. So anyway, right now, you know, with a few games left, the sad part about it is you can go undefeated in the regular season, but to make the Miami Dolphins put their champagne away and not pop the top, you gotta win. You gotta go undefeated through the whole shit. That means you gotta go all the way undefeated to the Super Bowl and win that bitch to really make those guys put their bottles away, man. So since 72, no one's done that. So right now they got their bottles tucked. They want to bring him out, but they got him tucked. They don't know if the Bucks are in a situation where, you know, they're the only team that don't have a loss, or they're the team that they got their eyes on right now. All right, so they're 13-0, 683 points scored, 255 given up. They're 13 game winning streak, 5 home, 8 on the road, man. Anytime you can go on the road and win, dominate and win games on the road, man, you are cooking up something special right now. All right, the Baltimore Ravens, man, and they're in the tough part of their schedule. It's been brutal for the last 5 games. They had opponents that, you know, really make them have to lock in and play some good football, and they seem to be doing that right now. Lamar Jackson, you know, is winning games at a high level right now, and it feels a little different right now. It feels like he, you know, that situation, bringing Anthony Iverson and put him in a situation where he is zeroed in right now. 789 points scored for the Baltimore Ravens. I think the last time we seen points like that, it was by the Cardinals. However, Falk, you finished with damn near 1,000 points at that one season, right?
Yep, we had over 1,000.
So, oh shit. So we not, you know, I don't know about that. We ain't going to be able to top that. But as you can see, as we talk about it, 789 point score offensively. They gave up 338 to the defense. So 7 game winning streak, 6 home, 6 on the road. 1 road loss to the Cardinals. They're the number 2 team right now. At number 3, the new young Gremlins are sitting at number 3 right now at 12-1. And their only loss came to the number 1 seed in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, they got a big time rival. That rival is very personal at times, you know. But the Bucks feel like they, you know, they're dominating this rival right now, man. I don't know about these new young Gremlins. I don't know what they got to say about that. But at this point right now, are you guys being dominated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? 6 game winning streak, 6 home wins, 1 home loss. 6 road wins, no road losses. At 4, man, just came off a game where they just went in. I want to know, you know, what the hell happened in that Cowboys-Patriots game that we're going to talk about. How the hell the Patriots go out there and just throw up 52 like it wasn't nothing. But they're 11-2 right now. They got the X next to their name. And they 515 points scored, 342. The Cardinals are number 5 on this list at 11-2. They scored 739 points this year and only giving up 318. They're on a 3-game winning streak right now, 6-1. Their 2 losses came to the number 1 ranked team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the number 3 team, New York Giants. Their biggest win this year was the Baltimore Ravens. So the Cardinals are still in the mix, flying high at 5 right now. To go at 6, they on a 1-game losing streak. They lost to the new young Gremlins. The Buffalo Bills and Coach Hoodie are 10-3, 477 points scored through 12, 5 home wins, 5 road wins. The Dolphins are in the playoffs. So all these guys with the letters next to their name are already in the playoffs. There's nothing that can happen to get them out of the playoffs. So the Dolphins are sitting at 10-3, and the fact is, the AFC East got 3 teams locked into the playoffs right now. I still got a feeling like when you look at the NFC East, is the AFC East catching up to the NFC East? Or because of the Jets, they're always going to be, no way we could say, you know, they take over that, you know, best division in football right now because of the Jets and activity. But I think through that 3, I mean, they fucking with y'all over there in the NFC. Max, what do you think?
I definitely would say due to like the tiered play from the rest of the NFC East, I would say that this year would kind of be like their year of equal power, you know. But we would have to still see, like, I wouldn't crown them best division yet because, you know, they haven't achieved.
How about this year? Is they the best division in football this year?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, they got 3 guaranteed in right now in the AFC side of things right now with them Dolphins 10-3. They got a 6 streak, 4 home games. They lost 2 home games. They got 6 road wins and 1 road loss. Them Chicago Bears quietly is at number 8 on this list. They're 10-3. Sitting here at 437 points scored, 352 given up. Justin Fields somehow, some way keep getting it done over here. especially when we went through their team, when we spun the wheel, and we went through their team and we saw that they don't really got, I don't really like their weapons on offense that makes these guys, win at a high level like that. The Broncos on a 2-game losing streak right now. Who they lost to before they lost to us last night in a dog fight. It was a really good fucking game last night. Javonte Williams showed that, sometimes an early start to your career a slow early start to your career doesn't mean bust, because he out here getting it done right now. He's number three rusher in the league right now. He doing a good job with Javonte Williams, man. He really worked him into stardom. But they are on a 2-game losing streak right now. And at number 10 to round off that top 10, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 9-4 right now, with 572 points scored, 423 given up. And they got the young gunner at the quarterback, man. They got Sanchez, man, King Sanchez at quarterback, going along with the MVP front runner. If I said that right, well, somebody that's on the MVP race right now, that's in the MVP race, and Travis Etienne right now. And he's also fighting for the most yards in the league this year. He's second to Travis Bass out there in Las Vegas. All right, the guys that's peeking in the window after the Jaguars have 4 losses, the Broncos with 4 losses. Then you start looking at guys that are on the cuff, but also on the cuff of not being in the playoffs. So you look at the Vikings at the 11th spot right now. Max, is that impressive?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The Vikings at 11, is that impressive? I mean, they literally fighting for a playoff spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they end right now.
It's definitely, no, they are in the playoffs. I checked. They're the 7th seed right now. It's definitely impressive because the coach came. What's this, 2nd season, first drafted season. So it's good to see a quick turnaround and able to be able to compete.
And he out here going dummy with the most name change team in the league. I don't even know what the receiver's name is this week.
I don't even know what his name is right now, so I'm not saying it.
I watched him play the Cardinals, and he literally took a deep shot. That this team throw the ball downfield more than anybody in the league. Is that a true or false statement? And if I'm going, listen, you don't score 9 touchdowns with 1 receiver if you ain't throwing the ball bombs away with this guy.
Definitely.
I watched him play the Cardinals, and every 2 plays was a fucking bomb. Every 2 plays was a motherfucking YouTube shot play. Woo!
Bolden, yeah, I might say that he's one of the top, at least top 3 deep throwers in the game. I'm really trying to think. Yeah, he might be up there.
I don't know what his percentage is completing those deep balls down the field, no homo, but motherfucking Falky, you played them, man. That receiver special for real. I don't know his name right now. He changed names like motherfucking draws. But he out here running by guys, I know that. But they number 11 right now, and they in the playoff picture right now. How about those Browns sitting at 12 right now, 7-6? The Browns is tricky because if they get hot, they gonna be a problem for anybody if they get hot. I think right now they kind of like lukewarm a little bit. They there, but they not there. You know what I'm saying? Like they on a border. They on a border. Another loss could be really, really shaky over here. So, I think they need to get hot right now. But they number 12. They are peeking in the window. Who's that peeking in the window? And then those Cowboys who said, out of his own mouth, we gonna make the playoffs. We always make the playoffs. So, a lot of other guys can't say that. They at 7-6 right now. I mean, this team went from us 1 season removed for Madden choosing the Giants over them. That's pretty much how it went. Same record, split games in y'all division to them being 7-6 right now. Max, or is Guns still? Where my boy Guns at, man? Guns, what the hell is going on with the Cowboys? Why are they, at 6 losses so fast? In a season where, in a year where they've been doing pretty good, double-digit wins down there every year. Why are the Cowboys at 7-6, 1 game above 500 right now, at number 13 in the league and peeking in the window?
I attribute that to too much turnover, too much roster turnover.
Okay.
I don't think the chemistry is there right now.
Okay.
I think he took a good approach. I've questioned some of his trades in the past, and I know you said that there was some other stuff going on, but For us, even transitioning into RDL, you can turn a roster over, but you don't want to turn it over too much at one time. You kind of want to, you try to, you want to take it step by step. And I just think that the chemistry right now is just not there, and that's why they're suffering some losses.
Definitely agree with that. I mean, we seeing it happen a lot. You know, the Colts were 2 seasons in a row, one game away from being in the playoffs, to having a draft class and then playing rookies over the guys that got them to that one game away from making to the playoffs, and then they don't win more than 4 games. And we've seen it happen. The Baltimore Ravens do it every year, and it shows up at the wrong time where you playing with these young diaper dandies and new people, and they not gel with these guys. And the year before, you had a great gel process, and all of a sudden it disappears because you want to play new young talent, and not everybody can do that, man. In fact, I would say that's pretty much hard for anybody to do. The guys, the guys that are successful and guys that have won the big game, their team has been together. Outside of the Bears playing with their team in the mix of the first season where everybody had no clue what the hell they had going on out there, the rest of those teams, man, they were well put together, well coached, and those guys played for each other, man. It wasn't really too much new turnover. They just played football. All right, so the Packers just, at 7-6 right now. Harold Burgers is back playing games, and he's 7-6 right now. I'll come right back to you, Guns, in this situation.
My fault. I got something wrong. The Packers are actually at the 7th seed, and the Vikings are at the 6th seed.
Oh shit, we'll talk about it in a second. So since we saying that right now, Max, man, the Packers, what's going on with them? Why are they in the mix right now?
Just flat out activity, I think.
Yes, you could scout. Definitely could scout, Drew.
Being more active, a little bit in tune with their players, dealing with a little bit of rebelliousness after getting some players suspended. I think that sparked a fuse, and they just went out there and tried to go and compete, and they ended up with some wins.
Yeah, pretty much. Bringing them in, will those wins in right now. All right. So the last team, the last 2 teams, we'll talk about the Seahawks and the 49ers. Now, before we advance, the Seahawks was the 7th seed. They did just take a loss to the 49ers. And then, that knocked them out of the playoffs, giving the Packers the 7th seed right now. But if you really think about it, if you look at, the NFC side, let's just go to that side real fast. All right, so sure ends are the Bucks and the Giants, right? You can almost guarantee Cardinals win one more game they're in. All right, the Bears win one more game they're in. So then you got the Vikings, Cowboys, Packers, Seahawks, Niners, all with 6 losses, all with the same record, right? And then there's enough games left to have to count the Eagles, the football team, the Saints, and the Panthers in the mix right now. That's a lot of teams with an opportunity to come in 6 and 7 to be the 6 and 7 seed in y'all conference right now. Max, why is it this year we have so many teams with an opportunity to make the playoffs down the stretch like this? We haven't seen this before.
I would say instead of 4B22, I would say just a little bit of the NFC East, honestly, not being as dominant. It's allowed more space for more teams to get in. I'm surprised I'm not seeing the Saints. I don't know their record, but
they there. Yeah, I thought I saw them. We'll take a look back at this again. I thought I saw the Saints in the mix. Let's go back down here to this game. Saints is here, 6 and 7. So they here with the teams that they can't lose another game. So the Panthers are 20 right now. The Saints 19, football team 18, Eagles 17. They're the teams with 7 losses right now. And these teams are in a situation where they can't lose another game, right? They got to look at it like that. We can't lose another game. We got to go undefeated to finish out. But they could lose another game depending on what these other six loss teams do. So we got literally Vikings, Cowboys, Packers, Seahawks. That look like 5 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 teams with 6 losses, 7 wins, 1 game above 500. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, 1 game under 500, and all have a playoff opportunity if they can finish strong. I'm not going to say. I just think that the activity over there is the reason why this is happening this way. You got a lot more guys playing. You said you think the NFC got a little weaker.
The NFC East. It's just,
Oh, the NFC East is the reason why this looks like this. Share me your thoughts on that. I'm trying to figure out what you mean. Like, I get it, but I want to really hear it from your
mouth. At
Week
15 versus you see the Cowboys 7-6, the Eagles and the football team 6-7. You would see kind of a stronger lead going into 16, 17, 18.
Because those guys usually have 10 or more wins at this point.
It's usually a fight for a life. It's fighting for your lives versus, like, it's kind of a tier thing right now going on. You got it, like, even Snake at 7-6 right now. It's like they're in that, like, mid-pack, which means the other mid-pack teams are, kind of getting advantages over them as far as seeding opportunities.
Shoguns, can you make sense of this?
What I'm gathering is, other teams are getting a chance just because the NFC East is a little off.
Okay.
It sounds like he's shouting out and defending his conference. I mean, but he's just stating what it is also.
Right.
It's like the Vikings 7-6, the Packers are 7-6, Snake is 7-6. Those are 3 7-6 teams in the playoffs. Then you got the Saints 6-7, the Panthers 6-7, Rob and Hitta are 6-7, and Drew and the Seahawks and Drew are 7-6.
Right.
Those are that's a lot of teams right there in the influx of 6-7, 7-6. Like, so
it's a game above 500 or a game under. Like, they right in that pack. Right. So this might be one of the most interesting down the stretch situations we have. Like, how important it is going to be for games to be played. Because it's going to be a game that one of these teams is going to need a win from another team or a loss from another team. So this is going to be important down the stretch right now. When you look at the heaviness of the top teams, you got, again, 13-0 Bucks. Giants is playing really good football. Cardinals is always playing really good football. Bears is in the mix as well with 3 losses. These guys all got a 3-game lead over their next guy. So yeah, it's serious over here. Let's look at the AFC and see if we got the same type of picture we can draw over here with the Alright, so the Raiders got a 1-game lead over the Patriots right now. Patriots are number 2 because of the Bills just took a loss, made them 3 in the AFC. Dolphins are 4, Broncos are 5, Jaguars and Browns right now, right? So if you look at the 7 teams that are in, the Browns literally just gotta not lose 2 more games, and they're in the mix, right? I mean, this picture a little bit more easier to see here. We got 3 teams in the AFC East in the playoffs right now, and the Browns, all they gotta do is not lose 8 games, and they could do that. They can stop the Colts or the Chiefs from making the playoffs at the 7th seed right now. So it look like, if they could finish strong, we look at their schedule, see what they got going on over there. They could finish strong, and they can afford 1 more loss, but they can't afford nothing outside of that. So if they could just finish, the rest of the season with just that, with no losses or 1 loss, the Browns locked down that 7th seed right now with the Jags, Broncos, Dolphins. As you can see, Dolphins, Bills, Patriots, Ravens are already locked in, secured their spots. Only thing could change is position and who's going to go to the 1st seed, 2nd seed. Those things can change a little bit. They still got enough games in it. All these teams are still close enough. There's only a 2-game lead from Dolphins to the Ravens. So very, very tight over here down the stretch.
The Browns have the Rams, the 49ers, the Ravens, and Seattle down the stretch.
Do you like their schedule down the stretch?
They got to steal the game between the 49ers and the Ravens, to be frank, to not get that 8 wins, to maybe put it into perspective of what the Colts and the Chiefs got going on. The Colts down the stretch have Jets, Panthers, Bucks, and Titans. So It's pretty tough for them Colts and the
I mean,
Chiefs.
pretty much the Chiefs. Chiefs is coming back off of just having a newborn, so
Yeah, who's a
still,
back
and
to
even in him, I don't think he'll be engaged enough to even
he's
win
got
any more games.
and he's got the schedule for it kind of more than the Colts if he was. That's just killer. But he's got Vikings, Texans, Chargers, and Broncos.
My
For the
thing is this:
Browns,
the Browns literally control their destiny. Simple as that. Uh, I don't see the teams the 6 teams in front of the Browns. I think they're shooing. The Browns literally control their own destiny of getting in the playoffs. And then here's the thing, though: if they do get in the playoffs and the Ravens stay at 1, I would think I'm the Browns. You're in a comfortable situation playing from that 7th seed
it
with
won't even be
a
7.
rematch. You know what I'm talking about?
If the Ravens is 1, he won't be 7. He'll be 5.
No way it'd be 5.
It's double division. Well, it depends on who's the
He
person
won't be
above
5.
him.
He'd be 7 like a motherfucker. Here's
He might be
why.
7.
Nah,
Yeah,
he
he
will
will.
be 7. He win one. He lose one game to finish off the season. He'll be the 7th seed. Here's why. So the Ravens is a divisional winner. That means the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins have to be a divisional winner. So that those teams will be playing home. So you gotta look at the Ravens, the Patriots, Bills, and Dolphins will have a home game, right? The Jaguars are gonna win their division. They got a 4-game lead over their next team, right? So now you're looking at Ravens as a with a home game. One of these 3 with a home game: Patriots, Bills, Dolphins. So whoever wins, let's say the Patriots right now, they're the number 2 seed, right? That's going to push the Bills to the 5th and the Dolphins to the 6th seed because they're going to have to play on the road.
Yeah, yeah,
You get what I'm
you're right.
saying? So the
Yeah,
Broncos will have a home game for winning their division, and the Jaguars will have a home game for winning their division. So that's your 4 home games teams, and then you got your teams on the road, which will be starting with the Bills, or the Dolphins,
or the
or the
whoever. Yeah,
Patriots. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
you're
So,
right. I see it.
you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So the Browns will be 7th, and then they'll be playing a game that they won last year. And a game that they're not, that they should be comfortable in playing the Baltimore Ravens if that everything stays the same. So the AFC looks a little bit more, like, all right, we just waiting for one team to show us they either gonna win enough games to get in, or they gonna put some pressure on them. But the Colts and the Chiefs gotta go undefeated for anything to even happen. So it looks like the Browns should get in right here. So that's that's your rankings, and that's what's going on right now. We already pretty much, just by saying that, we know who's the division winners. The real fight in the AFC comes down to the East. Who's going to win that division? That's where it stands at right now. But if you look at the playoff picture today, at week 15, you're looking at the first seeds on each side are the Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So as of right now, everything goes through Florida and everything goes to Baltimore on both sides, right? So the Giants are number 2 going up against the Green Bay Packers at 7. The number 3 seed will be the Arizona Cardinals facing the number 6 seed Minnesota Vikings. And then you got the 4th and the 5th seed, which will be the Bears hosting the Cowboys over there. A matchup that we used to seeing a lot right now. If the playoffs started today, this would be new matchups we haven't seen. Giants, Green Bay, Cardinals, Vikings. We have seen this matchup plenty of times already, with the Bears winning all those matchups. Now on the other side of things, again, you got, oh yeah, I was sketching. If the Ravens is the number 1 seed, they won't be playing the 7th seed. My bad. But they could meet
that's
up in the if they will have to upset the Patriots for them to meet up. All right, so right now the Patriots are number 2 playing the Browns at 7. At 3, you're gonna have the Broncos versus the Dolphins, and at 4, you're gonna have the Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. In the playoff picture right now, if the shit was to start today right now. How you like these matchups though, Max? Let's start with the AFC side. You like the Browns Patriots matchup? Do you think we're gonna get the type of football we got last year? We had excited playoffs last year.
I think all of these matchups are good if the playoffs was to start right now. The one I'd be most interested in probably is 4 and 5 for real though.
The Jaguars versus the Bills.
Because I think
Even the
they play
Cowboys and the
well on
Bears.
the AFC side. I mean on the AFC side. NFC side it'd be the Cowboys and the Bears.
All right. I think, an interesting situation would be, you know, I like the two unknown games where you got the Giants and the Green Bay Packers, and you got the Cardinals and the Vikings. Just because, well, the Cardinals and the Vikings played each other this year, so they will have some type of familiar understanding of each other. But you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get with this Green Bay Packer team at all. I'm quite sure this is the one team you probably haven't watched play the game at all this year.
Nope.
Not saying that, not put you in a situation where I'm saying it's a trap game, upset alert, but you won't get your homework done on this team just because you're not going to get your homework done. You're not. This is not a team you're paying attention to. Could that be a good situation for the Green Bay Packers? Because nobody's going to pay attention to them. So can they sneak their way into a situation in these playoffs if they make it?
I think that's got to be their mentality. Sneaky 7th or 6th, whatever they can fall to, and kind of just going with the mentality that really we have nothing to lose because nobody really expects.
Paying attention to them, flying to the fucking radar, see what happens. The radar, see what happens. All right, fellas, at 15 with 3 games left, pretty much. Right, we got the week 15, 1, 2, 3, 4 games left. We're going to go over here to some of the situations, and we got to talk about stats and awards again, and just to see where it's at right now. All right, so let's get into the Coach of the Year, NFL MVPs, all that good shit. I'm not going to spend, a whole shitload of amount of time on this. I'm just going to get through it real fast. We're going top 3 at this point now. All right, so Coach of the Year, Judge, Myers, and Arians. Bruce Arians is number 3 on this list for the Bucks. Myers for the Jaguars, and Judge for the Giants right now. Is this an important award for you, Max, to try to win your 4th Coach of the Year?
I think it just reminds us that we always have the right vision. It's just about execution. So it's a good staple to have.
Do we ignore this stat though? Like this award, does it get ignored?
I think it does, but I don't really. I could see why, kind of. If the Coach of the Year doesn't really tie with like the Lombardi, a lot of people just feel like, what I'm saying, like how well was the coaching then? But I think it's kind of it's definitely an undermined award, overlooked award.
Here's a question for you, Shoguns. How are we able? Should the person that win the Super Bowl always get Coach of the Year? Or do you think a coach coaches really well all year, no matter if they get to the Super Bowl or not, should be able to win it? Like that, to me, like he just said, coach being a Coach of the Year really gets overshined because we ain't winning the Lombardi. What does it, what really doesn't matter? But we get a lot of coaches that don't win Super Bowls that win Coach of the Year. Do you think that it should go hand in hand with the Super Bowl winner?
No, and I only say that because I used to really feel like it should go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain coaching certain jobs that coaches are doing that can't be overlooked. Let's say that let's just say that the Giants wins the Super Bowl this year, but the Seahawks or the Packers were able to make the playoffs and win the playoff game in the first round. I think a coaching job such as that can't be ignored, even though Judge is hoisting the Lombardi.
Right.
I just think a coaching job like that can't be ignored.
Like the Seahawks, like the way their season is, if they make the playoff, I don't even think they got to win a playoff game for them to come, from where they came from to get in the playoffs. Is a hell of a coaching job in his own. So I think they should be higher on this list if they even on the list. They should be on this list, in my opinion. Like Madden should take heed to that, but they don't. If you follow the whole franchise and you can hold franchise stats on the history of our league, then that's part of history, man. Got to see that out. You know what I'm saying? Period. So all right, let's get to the MVP race right now. We look at the top 3. You're looking at Lamar Jackson still at 1 right now, with Murray and Ruggs pushing down a stretch right now. Ruggs went from 6 on this list to 3. At one point he was at 2, but Kyler just had his game and jumped him again. So those 3 right here, I still think is anybody's race in these 3. How about you, Guns?
I still think that not one person has locked it in yet. So I still think it's a three-man race. It's a three-headed monster right now.
No doubt, I agree. All right, AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Lamar Jackson, Tremaine Bash. Man, this guy is a bell cow for them. He is the offense for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. But he's number 2 over here, and then Travis Etienne is number 3. What do you have to say about that right now? You got a guy who's carrying the ball at a high level right now, jumped over top of you right now, Travis Etienne. Not only is he number 2 on Offensive Player of the Year, that means, you know, when it comes down to the rushing leader, the things we talked about earlier, you proving that he's the best running back in the league right now. There's a running back in your way right now.
It's formality. He's just holding my spot.
Alright, so the number 3 guy is, again, Travis Etienne Jr. right now, man. Do you feel like it's added pressure on him playing with the young gunner at quarterback and King Sanchez? Or you think that, you know, the puzzle was just fits perfect, where this quarterback literally came right in and gave y'all extra spark?
Yeah, it was a situation where, you know, we just turn to Travis and say, hey, you know what, you know, until Sanchez is ready, you know, you're the guy. Continue to lead the franchise. Be free. The offense runs through you. You know, which gives but the kid is not on a restriction as far as the playbook. He came right in for the playbook. So it's just enabled them to, you know, they're having fun right now. You know, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, you know, they're still competing and having fun out there. You know, it just got to a point with the, you know, with the previous quarterback where some of the things, it just stopped being fun.
Right.
Things just started getting contentious, a little bit too serious. So, you know, a change had to be made. So, you know, we influx some youth at the quarterback position, or, you know, more youth, and, you know, now, you know, it's, I don't want to say we're not business, but you know, the teams are doing more, you know, activities away from the field.
It makes sense though, guys, man, because we're playing a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's a business and guys get paid to do a job in the NFL, but you're still playing the game. And you gotta, if you take the fun out of that, you know, it's hard to really, you know, play for each other. If it's not fun, you know, emotions is everything, bro. If your team ain't gelling and having fun together, and taking this ride together, it's always a situation. So I agree with you 100% right now. I agree completely with that statement. In the NFC, here we go. Offensive Player of the Year. Kyler Murray's 1 right now. Chadwick Boseman, the receiver, is number 2, and then Jaleel Ruggs is number 3 right now. And your top 3, you know, I think, you know, Boseman is in the building because he is literally damn near averaging like 200 yards, 3 touchdowns a game right now. He's going nuts right now. It sucks because we've seen receivers, you know, go crazy before. So this is, you know, it's nothing to be like, oh my God, but like, you gotta, you know, give it up to the guy that changes his name more than what's that G.I. Joe that used to change his face all the time? The bad guy, the Cobra guy. Sartan. That's what we're gonna start calling him, Sartan. Exactly what his nickname is, Sartan. Alright, so number 2, and then Jaleel Ruggs, man. Jaleel Ruggs is at 3. And, you know, the Bucks haven't really relied on Jaleel Ruggs to be, you know, the guy. They've been throwing the ball a lot more. And because of that, I think that's the reason why he's number 3 on this list. But again, with enough games left that he can make a change real fast right now. So I like the top 3, with Kyler Murray leading off that top 3. Defensive Player of the Year, Orlando Jordan, Diaper Dandy. Veteran, Devin White. And then you got Diaper Dandy, Chris Samuel for the 49ers. Listen, out of the 3 on here, we've been talking about Orlando Jordan all year. It's only right that this guy, I mean, I think he's playing way better than we expected him to play. But also with the type of size this guy got and the attributes he got, I wouldn't think that this was far-fetched the Saints to be able to do. We saw him do it before with a young rookie at the safety position that was special and had special size and speed to him. But the corner, Chris Samuel, in a draft where he was overlooked, even though he went in the first round, he was overlooked. There was so many corners that was being looked at outside of him. You really didn't hear too much on him. Might be the best corner in that draft. I mean, not even might, is the best corner in that draft. He was the number 1 corner on the board for a reason. And he came into a starting job right away for the Niners, and all he doing is balling. He literally got a shell of shutdown on him. Like he can. I played this team. I know exactly what this corner could do. If you late on a throw, he's getting that. He's getting right to it. He make plays, tackle well, and he cover really well. And he's been forced to cover your top receivers since he joined the 49ers defense, and he's doing it at a high level. And Devin White, man, the old man, the man in the middle, the user. You know, you got your man in the middles, you got your middlemans, you got those type of guys, but this is the user, simple as that. This guy can be at the line of scrimmage, and then 5 steps later picking you off on a crossing route. Like, he's that good, and he's been doing it for a long time. He might even be playing the best linebacker, middle linebacker in the NFC right now, when we used to seeing Isaiah Simmons. Although he's on this list, but Devin White might be that guy this year, number 2 right now. And the AFC, your Defensive Player of the Year award goes to Steve Israel, Stearns, and Eric Bolden, defensive end. Computer love. And I don't. It's funny because there's some fucking names in this AFC on this list right now. Sucks that we only narrowing it down to 3 right now, but there's some really good names on here, man, that I would like to see how this stuff plays out. With Israel Stearns. Israel balling right now because he's you know, he's everywhere. Like, this guy plays slot and outside corner, and from the slot, you know, he gets to the quarterback a lot. They send him on stunts a lot, and you know, them sacks is the reason why he's up here. At the same time, he picks the ball off a lot. But Stearns, man, he had a 4-pick game and a 5-pick game. To me, I think he's the leader of that secondary over there. Max said we don't look at the Broncos as the no-fly zone anymore, guys. Me and you talked off air last night. You still called them exactly that. Why is Max wrong for not still looking at this secondary as the no-fly zone?
I think he really attributed that to the to the elevation of the offense, and how they, you know, have changed their game. So it's easy. Well, not easy. It's a good observation to notice that their offense is changing. But you know how they say, you know, while some things change, some things remain the same.
Right.
So by noticing the change, we kind of forgot what remained the same, and that's that no-fly zone secondary.
Yes, sir. I mean, and again, they getting big-time plays out of big-time players in that secondary. Stearns leads that pack. All right, Eric Bolden, defensive end. Somebody that, you know, I think he's a rookie. If I'm not mistaken, this might be a diaper dandy. I'll tell you exactly if he's a diaper dandy or not. No diaper dandy. All right, so he's not a diaper dandy, but Eric Bolden for the Chiefs is playing well, but you know, we're going to ignore him because of the computer of, you know, no user effect right now. Again, shout out to my boy Rich, man, for having you got his newborn baby girl, man, in the building and shit. But he's number 3 on this list. Let's go back and look at the offensive rookie of the year right now. Tion Pitts at 1, diaper dandy sitting there chilling. Spencer Moss, both little guns. Your top 2 AFC rookie of the year race is between 2 guys from the same college, Deion's college, Jackson State. Is that impressive?
Nah, that's not impressive, because Jackson State is cheating. If you ask the other.
Say that again. Say that again.
Jackson State is cheating.
They cheating.
So says the
other schools, right? They are cheating and shit. These motherfuckers cheating.
You get one number 1 recruit that decides to go to Jackson, and the next thing you know, Deion's the biggest cheater. Of the century.
Right.
All these school violations out here, and
right?
Deion's the biggest cheater.
He the biggest cheater right now, man. Listen, man, if you build it, they gonna come. Simple as that. Jackson State is on the map right now, man. He getting those guys in the NFL too, and these guys, you know, was high draft picks, man. First, the second, the third round type guys. So, shout out to them. Danger is in the building at number 3 right now. I really love the diaper dandies over here, especially these top 3. Spencer Moss came in and stole a running back job that I didn't see coming. I thought he would be a 1-2 punch with Nuna East over there, but he came and took the job, bro. Why, Max? How come Spencer Moss was able to come dethrone their starting tailback that was there already? This is why I don't fuck with these little motherfuckers. Nigga probably sniffing this girl fucking eardrum right now and shit. Anyway, Guns, I know you still with me. Why the hell is Spencer Moss the starter over there now? I mean, obviously he won a starting job. My fucking feet swollen. He won a starting job, but like,
yeah. I mean, he came out of training camp. You know, he impressed the staff. He has. I mean, shout out to the staff. I mean, you know, it takes a lot of guts to, you know, to turn it over to such a young guy. But they saw something special. They believed in him. They turned it over, and look where we are now, looking at these stats.
I mean, you know, the knock on him, because, you know, he was a dog at Jackson State. The problem was he was a dog at Jackson State. And because of that, you know, the experts, you know, the Kuipers and all those guys, they downplayed this kid. He ain't played the talent, not enough talent. You know, he playing FSB, FSS school, FBS school, blah blah blah. You know, he ain't in the Power 5.
Deion already showed us. What did we see when we saw Deion's off season? It wasn't like we saw, you know, Carl from the gas station down there helping the guys run sprints. No, we saw Rex Ryan. You know, we saw all these guys come in, all these you know, quarterback whisperers, and you know, some of the greats that you know, Troy Aikman. You know, we saw him. You know,
Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice. The name just keep, you know what I mean? Just keep folding. These guys, they having fun down there. They loving life. They out here, man, and they doing good things. We're gonna see more Jackson State guys playing, man. I mean, we got a draft that's coming up. You got a couple of them might be in that draft, man, especially that defensive end they had out there that transferred them from Florida, who was a nightmare for them over there, killing shit on their defense on the headache game. But all right, so then you got, and then Danger Griffin, man. Danger Griffin, Angelo Griffin's little bro, at the running back position is special for those Buffalo Bills. This gave them a weapon that's needed for the type of offense that the Coach Hoodie and these Buffalo Bills run over there. They do a lot with Danger. Not only do they, you know, run the ball well with him, they use him in the passing game very well. I want to know, do the starting tailback that had the job, the big power back they had over there that had all that damn speed, is he still in the mix over there, or is he on a block? Because if he's not in the mix and they not using him, I would. If you need a running back, you need to be hollering at the Buffalo Bills like ASAP. Because that back was a dog. He just, you know, Danger just can do more. Danger can, you know, in the offense where they want their running backs to not just, you know, be able to run between the tackles and hit the home runs off of stretches and dives and power. They need a guy that can get up the field and make plays happen when plays aren't there to make. You know what I'm saying? They need a playmaker at the running back position, and that's what Danger Griffin is. He's a playmaker because he could play either or for this team at any moment, wide receiver or running back over there. So that's your top three over there in the AFC Diaper Dandies. I really like the AFC Diaper Dandies. Really like them.
I don't know. I mean, we could find out what's going on with them, but somebody want to hold Skadimes hostage, so we won't be able to find out this time.
Find out what's going on with who?
You know, whether that big running back is on the block.
Man, Skadime's on vacation. You know how they are, man. He gotta do a month or nothing. He can't do nothing he like. He gotta, you know, they doing that. What's that shit called? Cleansing, whatever the hell he doing, where he can't do shit. He can't eat the foods he like. He can't do the things that. Thursday, you want to talk because I'm bro. No, maybe. Hold on for a second. All right, so again, you know, I mean, it's even with Spencer Moss taking the running back job over there for the Dolphins. You know, is East happy? Do East want to be still left in the building? He trying to get the fuck up out of there. You know, you never. I mean, you got dogs losing jobs because of some of these diaper dandies coming in. Those dogs don't want to be sitting the bench. That it's not like they're not talented. They just lost spots to guys that their franchise saw more in these young guys than they do in the guys they had. Simple as that. NFC rookies right now who out here pitting and twerk. All right, so we got a quarterback in the building that's balling, and Darren Thomas Jr. right now for the Eagles. I like the fact that he's number one on this list because he was the most doubted player out of the draft. Everything was negative in Philadelphia when this pick happened. And then it was like, all right, you got two. We tired of this two quarterback system shit, and they answered that by trading King to the Jaguars. But then they brought Trevor Lawrence in, and the talk was Trevor Lawrence is still going to start, and then this guy going to play. So we in tank mode. This some bullshit. We starting over. And they said, nah, we ain't doing none of that. And they rolled the back of this guy. And he's playing really good football as a rookie right now. He deserves to be at number one. And I don't think nobody's going to dethrone him. Although, to the house is on here too. You know what I mean? And you got the quarterback over there for the Vikings that's playing well. Anytime you throw 9 touchdown passes to one player in a game, this quarterback can fling that shit. So the top 3 here are solid. I mean, it's some really big names on this list, man. It sucks that we're only talking about 3 because there's so many good names for these diaper dandies right now. I mean, you got Earl Peppers, E.B. Savage, Bake Sanders. You got Theo Fletcher, the receiver that nobody talks about. Mike Tim is another receiver nobody really talking about. Trayvon Gooden. And then you got Devontae Davis, another receiver that really nobody. This NFC, hold on, I'm going back to the AFC. Who got the better diaper dandies right now? So look, Pitts, Moss, Griff, 2 running backs. Then you got the quarterback Mike Weber, who came in and took Josh Allen's job. Justice Keys from Florida State, that speedster receiver with 98 speed, 98 excel. Herschel Walker's here. Rayshawn Hendricks, another speedster, but he's not playing at all, not being coached. You got Nathan Huffman, another one of those slot receivers that went to the Dolphins 2 years in a row. Chris Portis, and then you got Will Clements. So we got some. I think the NFC might look a little better. What do you think, Guns?
I don't know. We can do a whole another show.
Right. We'll get back to that. We're not gonna stay stuck on that today. All right, defensive rookies right now. Lennox Castle, the Jamaican out there in Buffalo Soldier. Hey man. Hey man, they've been watching this guy closely and shit. They said he come into practice every day smelling like loud, and they don't want to hear that shit. I'm saying that we legal now. Nobody want to hear that shit. Rasta guy, you smell like loud. You smell like you're smoking purple. And then you got Lance Norman, man, Josh Norman's nephew, at cornerback for the Patriots right now at 11-2. He balling. He had a hot start to his career, and he hasn't cooled off yet. Okay, Deron Adams, the linebacker over there for the Baltimore Ravens, the number 2 pick, is sitting at number 3 right now. That's your top 3: Castle, Norman, Adams. Norman is, if the NFC got Chris Samuel as the top rookie corner in the league, then Lance Norman is the AFC's top rookie corner in the league. Simple as that, right? With Castle as safety, just like you're gonna see Orlando Jordan, Castle and Jordan. You can look at these 2 guys and put them neck to neck and see who's playing the best to have to be the best rookie safety in the league right now. Especially in the draft where we had some really dog safeties that came out of. And then at the linebacker level, the linebacker level was very, very, very special this draft as well. And we had some big time names, and we had some, legends in the league who had kids and shit that came out this draft too. Deron Adams, the man in the middle in the AFC. All right, so the NFC, you're going to look at guaranteed Orlando Jordan, Chris Samuels, and Idris Elba, another corner. So we got top 3 all DBs in the NFC. Then when you keep on moving down that list, you got Champ Bailey, Newsome, and Zion Ali, all DBs, as you can see, balling in the NFC. All right, so as we get to the diaper dandies is over with, our top 3, that race is going to continue. We're going to follow that through the next 4 games and see what happens. Best quarterback in the NFC: Kyler Murray, Jerry Bradshaw, Elijah Mannings. Now, Guns, I ask you this. The list is 1, 2, 3, but are they the best 3 quarterbacks in the NFC, or are we sleeping on Justin Fields? And I'm gonna have my answer to that. I just want to hear where you at.
No, I think right now, as far as who the way that they see the hottest quarterbacks right now, I think Justin Fields does get overlooked. I think it's something that's been happening to him a lot, even even going back to his days in high school, where he's continued to put the numbers up, but there was always seemed to be a spotlight shown on somebody else.
Hmm.
And I think in this case, I mean, even though we got you got three outstanding quarterbacks, they the league should at least have him as honorable mention right now. He shouldn't be ignored.
All right, I'm sorry. Who's this honorable mention you talking about?
Fields.
Well, you took the fucking words right out of my mouth. I can't even debate you on this because I feel the same way, man. When we did the spin the wheel and we did the NFC North and we showed that Chicago offense, we showed a great offensive line. So they did exactly what they needed to do. They got protection for Justin Fields, but I just don't think those weapons that they got over there are anything that make you stay up at night all night. So the fact that he wins as many games as he does, got a Super Bowl under his belt, stay winning double-digit wins every year, and he's always playing and late in the playoffs, divisional round, gets to the divisional round all the time. Justin Fields is the do-all quarterback because he makes that offense go. Because again, I don't see special players. Mooney as the receiver. Harvin hasn't really, came into his own. These are guys, the tight end plays well for them, but like, not looking at the best tight end in the league type situation. It's really Justin Fields making this team go. Now, last time we seen, a team with high success, but then you look at, the quarterback spot is strong, but then you look at the weapons around them and you want to know how the fuck they winning games. Was New England Patriots with Tom Brady all them years, except for the Moss year. They really never had the weapons, and I think that's what the Bears are. They don't have the weapons, but Fields is so good, he makes those guys play at a higher level. And I think you have to look at that, even though he's fourth on this list. I think, he... Can we say he's the best quarterback in the NFC over Kyler Murray?
No.
Not at all, right?
We can't, because as we always say, Kyler Murray comes with the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, how about Bradshaw and Manning? Is he better than those guys?
I can't. I mean, they're the ones that. I mean, let's be honest. For the most part, they're the ones. Quarterbacks are the ones that's always sending him home.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm.
So I would definitely say no, because he's always going home at the expense.
I just like what you're saying. You can't ignore what he's done, over his career as a Bear. I mean, since Allen Robinson, has he had a true number one receiver?
No, he has not.
Shout out to dumbass D West, because if he played harder, he would probably win a lot more games, win a lot more deep games in the playoffs. All right, Jackson, Stanton, Marino are your top 3 quarterbacks in the AFC. But the next 3 is sneaky right now. Weber, Sanchez, and then Minor, Freaky Minor. You see what I'm saying? Freaky. But out of these top 3 right now, man, do you what would be the question? Do you see any of these guys, jumping over top of Lamar at this point?
No. I think I think Lamar is the class over there. I mean, and we see who the guys are that are the next guys up. But I just think as far as the quarterbacks that are in the most complete situations, I mean, so some of these guys, you start looking at the quarterbacks, you can't bring them up without thinking about somebody else.
All right.
You can't just think about Dan Marino without Waddle coming up first.
All right.
or as he gets better, them together. When you start thinking about Lamar Jackson, you start thinking about a quarterback to where you don't have to have. They've proven that you don't have to have a mainstay or a main name there. You get him the weapons, you put him on the field, and then that particular day, he's going to wield his team. He's going to, I hate saying he's going to decide who's going to play today because it's really not up to him. He'll put the balls, for the most part, where they need to be, and the guys have to, accept the task of being great for him. But he really goes out there and he can get the ball to anybody at any time.
Yeah, I think when you're dealing with Lamar Jackson, he's the best athlete on the field still to this day in this league. Best athlete on the field the moment you step on the field with the Baltimore Ravens. But Stanton has been up and coming. Marino has been solid and steady his entire career. All right, let's go to the running backs right now. In the NFC, you got Bass over top of Etienne. Then Javonte Williams has stepped in the mix right now as your top 3 backs in the league in the AFC right now. All right, Guns, make your case why 4-9 for Rain Bass is over top of 9-4 reverse records Travis Etienne Jr.
Because they don't have anything else going on right now. Everything as far as the running game is OP. As far as like carries and stuff like that, and of course, Travis is being used, but we also see a passing game where
Right.
we once again have receivers at the top 10. So that they're just on 2 different agendas right now, but the cream is going to rise to the top.
Okay. Now, are we impressed with Javonte Williams as the number 3 back on this list right now? I mean, he just came off a 222, 20-something yard, 12.2 yard carry against the number 1 rush defense in the league in the Baltimore Ravens. Went dummies on them. 12.2 yards a carry on 18 carries, 2+. Is he here now? It's time to really start paying attention to Javonte Williams.
I mean, he's always been there. That's been one of the things that we've always talked about was the usage of Javonte Williams. Like when he was going to be utilized, and so where he could be recognized where he is now. He honestly, he should have been there years ago, but to the credit of the organization, they had a quarterback that they had to groom, they had to get ready, and Kellerman is playing lights out football.
Definitely agree. I mean, I think they took their time with Javonte. This team, we call they're a methodical football team, but they call games during the game, if that makes sense to you. These guys, they get their practices on, during the week, but when they get in the game, their in-game adjustments, the way they play the game is dictated by what they see on defense and what the team in front of them is doing. They might have a game where they feel like it's an all passing game, but Javonte's used in that passing attack, though. You know what I mean? Or they line up against the Baltimore Ravens and they say, you know what, we're going to run at this team today. We're not going to dance around the fact that they have a really good defense against the run. We're gonna run right at them, and they did exactly that. Ran right at them. He had 151 yards on 2 carries in that game. He started off hot and never cooled down. But I like the fact that he's number 3 on this list. We're not used to seeing him, in the top, I would say top 5 at all, especially with some of the runners over here. So we'll continue to pay that. Let me ask you this: he's number 3 in the league in rushing yards. With 4 games left, can he win this thing? Can he win the best running back in the AFC?
I think he could. I mean, we could be seeing a preview. They may already be in playoff mode. Because this is something that they're going to need. As the weather starts to get colder, the ground starts to get harder due to the temperatures dropping. This is something they're going to have to do in the playoffs. So, maybe they're already in playoff mode.
Yeah, I agree. And then you got Tremaine Bass, who has nothing to lose, man. They literally, I mean, coaching wise, is this a good thing to OP him at this point, or with nothing to lose, should they be working on other things?
Now, all jokes aside, I'm really excited for for the competition. But to answer the question, if you're an up and coming franchise, you should be. The mistake that I made, I'm just get personal. The mistake that I made when I started out with the team was I was so afraid of them being so young. We just deferred to Travis all the time and didn't expand the role of our offense. And it's taken a lot longer, to get us going, and it actually cost us a lot of. It cost us a lot in reference to, turnovers.
Franchise development.
Interceptions, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's the reason why your quarterback got shipped out of here in his prime, actually. So I get it. I just think, even with 4 games left, this, with nothing to lose, really, at this point, unless you're chasing an award, which is fine. If you're going to chase it, go all out for it. You know what I mean? But, at the same time, you got a really good receiving core over there, and you got a young offensive line that you did a really good job in this draft with. I think it's time to open up your offense a little bit just to try it. You have nothing to lose. So what? You lose the game, it is what it is, but you give yourself something to go into the next season with to make it harder to stop, because you snuck up on guys last year with that strong ass run game. I mean, you gave him 52 carries in a playoff game and won that playoff game. That's how explosive and how unfamiliar everybody was with Tremaine Bass and this Las Vegas attack, with that quarterback being able to roll out and make plays with his feet and throw the ball as well. But then you come back the next year, and guys understand what they're facing when they deal with this team, and they know they have to stop this run. Now, nobody has stopped it really all year long, no matter if he lost the game or not. No one stopped this guy from running. He's a monster. But what happens is your record 4-9 if you was able to have a nice little passing attack to go along with the way this guy is as a running back. Maybe you're in the playoffs again. The good thing is such a young staff. They got time, what I'm saying? They got time to make mistakes and, do some things and second guess themselves and come back to it. They got time. They got plenty of time. So I would probably say, at this point, 4 games left, you might as well just go ahead and go for the gusto. See what you can do with this running back. But, coming into the next season, you got guys on your team that, going to be asking for big money because they got high overalls. Great speed at the receiver position. Let's get those guys involved. All right, in the AFC, the wide receivers, Diaper Dandy, Tion Pitts, Rashad Bateman, Jaylen Waddle, your top 3. Jaylen Waddle is the most consistent receiver we have in this league right now. I mean, for a team that come up against the Dolphins and know that you got to stop Jaylen Waddle, and yet you can't do it for 7 seasons straight, it's impressive as hell, bro. I mean, this guy I still think he's the best receiver in the league. And I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. I really do. I don't think it's close. I think he's the best receiver in the league, and I don't think it's close because you literally, everybody that played this team has to stop Jaylen Waddle, and and it's almost damn near if you stop Jaylen Waddle, you should get the win over here against the Dolphins. Yet they're 10-3. Yet they're always in the playoffs. Yet they always have a number 1, 2, or 3 at the wide receiver spot, and that's Jaylen Waddle. It's the most consistent player for one of the most consistent teams in the league. The one thing they're gonna do is Dan Marino will find Jaylen Waddle. I mean, this is the Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams situation, in my opinion. I mean, this guy's been the number 1 guy, the number 1 target for years, and they've been drafting nothing but receivers to better, to change that a little bit, and yet still remains Jaylen Waddle, that guy. I think as long as he has his speed and elusiveness, I think he'll always be that guy for these guys until he's not. You said it's a bold statement. Am I wrong for saying that or feeling that way about Jaylen Waddle?
Well, I mean, the last time that we got to look at. I say it's a bold statement because when other people have referred to receivers in this way, we were we were talking about no matter who stood in front of them whenever they showed up, they always outperform, whoever we in front of. And last time that we talked about a wide receiver in that fashion, we were talking about a Randy Moss. So that's why I say to make that statement. Last time I heard a statement like that made was when we were talking about Randy Moss.
I mean, I feel you. I would say, when was the last time he won this award, best wide receiver? Because to be consistent 2 or 3, I mean, he hasn't won this award for a long time now. It's been somebody else winning the award. I mean, you've seen Poole win it 2 years straight in the AFC, but he's always in the top 3. So I kind of get what you're saying. It's just me. I just see this part. He's getting the football, and yet it's hard to stop it.
Well, it's just because he's not doing the old traditional football where, it didn't matter who we were talking about. He lines up on the same side of the field every single time.
Right.
That the coaching staff in Miami is they have a brilliant approach to their game. They move they move Waddle around.
All around.
They use him. Yeah. So you can't. You got to identify him on the field. So not only just identify where who he is, you got to identify where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way that they I don't want to say scheme him because he's too talented. It's just the way that they move him around and give him opportunities to scorch a defense.
They put him in the best situation to win on every down. Simple as that.
Absolutely.
Especially when they throwing the football. Why is Rashad Bateman number 2 on this list right now? And Bateman, he had a solid career when he was with the Ravens, but Bateman is different as a Jaguar right now. Why?
It's a combination of a few things. For one, let's just look at the culture of where he came from. He brought a different attitude from the wide receiver core, that he played with in Baltimore, and you bring that in, along with the DK Metcalf that played with the wide receiver core that he did in New York,
mm-hmm.
and they were just able to take those things and give the offense, something new. And on top of that, they finally got the bright idea, like, hey, you know what? Travis is going to be Travis. Let's incorporate and take advantage and use our wide receivers a lot more. So
this Jacksonville Jaguar team is very much paying attention to the passing game this year. I mean, you're almost making it like we all see what Etienne is doing over there for y'all, but like, I think because what Etienne is doing, we're ignoring the fact that you're kind of a pass first team a little bit more than you have been ever.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's not just we got guys that showed up that were just a part of great offenses where they came from. Now we're talking about guys that are showing up in their prime or at the end of the, or the latter part of their prime, but they're still prime year wide receivers that are like, look, I don't care what happens, throw it up.
Let us make a play.
With it.
And I think that's the difference between King and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had to, he had to throw the perfect pass. They had to be wide open. He lets his receiver King, and I guess that's because he's young and he don't know no better right now. But he allows his receivers to go make plays, and who better but a DK Metcalf and a Rashad Bateman? They go getters. They make plays. They don't have to be open. The ball don't have to be perfect. It just has to put it in their area, and they make plays for you right now. And then he got the diaper dandy Etienne sitting at 1 right now on this list. He battling it out with that guy over there in the NFC, Bolden, that's balling all crazy for the best receiver in the league this year. He's number 1 in the AFC right now, but he's not the best receiver on that Baltimore Ravens team. His success, to me, is due to the entire offense right now. I think they're back to being able to be explosive offense in the run game, and the run game can be explosive to the point where it opens up the passing game or vice versa. But it all starts with Lamar under the center. Simple as that. Or no matter what is happening, if it's a run game, pass game, because he affects all of it. And you know, they finally found their combination. You saw that last year. They couldn't figure out who was one. They couldn't figure out a number one last year. And you know, as Jello's into Jello season started to shape up, he started to show that, you know, he was the guy. And you know, they bring in this guy in the trade after the draft, and they bring themselves a 1-2 punch. And I think he's just benefiting from the fact that Jello is so good at that number one spot. And we had Bateman at one time, and still Jello to me is the better receiver at that one, better fit for what we're trying to do offensively, which is opening up Etienne Pitts right now. And the balling he's doing right now. Shoot over to the NFC right now. And Boltzmann, man, this guy, I mean, come on, bro. Anytime you got a guy that scored 9 touchdowns in one game, you know, he's on this list. But Henry Ruggs, I think he's emerged, because you're looking at a team that throw to their tight end more than they do anything, but yet Henry Ruggs is having an outstanding season. We go over those numbers, you'll see what I'm talking about. Although I won't be going over it on this episode, but Henry Ruggs is in a different space right now, and I think he's, you know, he's not the number one receiver on this team, but at the receiver position, there's nobody doing it better in Tampa Bay than he is right now. He can do everything. He gets you with the deep ball. He's a possession catch guy. He can run after the catch, and he can use his speed and route running to be able to separate from any DB he go up against right now. He's number 2 on this list. Sheldon Ward, to me, at 3, is starting to make a statement now, where he's, you know, flat out the number 1 target over there for the Cardinals in their in that wide receiver group right now. He's kind of separated himself now. We saw this coming. You know, we saw that, you know, when he got drafted, you know, those 2 guys over there, Isabella and Rondell Moore, were the 1-2 punch over there, and Sheldon was feeling his way out. And I think now at this point in his career, you can call him a veteran. And in that veteran role, that 6'5" receiver decided, this is my team, and this is my offense, and things go through me before anybody else. He's doing exactly that, and that shit 1, 2, 3 over there. I don't think this race can be won by anybody else because of what Boltzmann is doing. I think don't nobody get more targets than Boltzmann right now. He literally gets 90% of the offense in Minnesota right now. And the fact that they attack one player so much in a game, and these guys are in the playoffs right now, is crazy. It's super crazy to me. All right, offensive lineman, you got Clay Oates for the Giants. And then there's Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay again. You got the veteran of Tristan Wirfs. And then you got Dean Bailey, you know, sitting here at 3 right now. It's tricky with the offensive line, because as I guess the run game improves for either one of these teams, or step up for any one of these teams, any one of these 3 can win it. We do got new faces. I haven't really seen Clay Oates up here at all. Wirf's been in the building, and Bailey, I think, to me, he's been up here, but he, you know, for being in the top 3, I think this is new. In the AFC, you're looking at things ain't the same. What's up with Bird, bro? You know, we was arguing at one point, maybe he might be the better guard in the AFC right now. He's at 3 right now. You got two Ravens in front of him right now at the guard position, Falk and Grubbs, and Grubbs is a first-year starter at that guard position right now. What's up, bro? Bird, you know what I mean? We had this argument. You want to debate this still, or nah? You cool now? You kind of really set back in your place and understand who's the best lineman in the league?
Well, first of all, I don't have a place.
You got a place, nigga. 3rd. That's where you at.
Nah.
You got a place, nigga. You in 3rd right now, nigga. Best
$100 handshake right now.
3rd. Listen, best lineman in the league. Not the best offensive line in the league. Best lineman in the league is Pat Falk out of Camden, New Jersey. Bitch, CMD. Sign language. Alright, Eric Bolden, number 1, Ted Saragusa, number 2, and Colt Young are number 3. This race ain't over, because I think the next 1, 2, 3, I would say the next 3 from Peppers, Nasty, and Boulware are still in this mix. But let's just go with the 1, 2, and 3 right now. Saragusa, not only is he, you know, from the D-tackle spot getting sacks, he leads the entire league with tackle for losses right now. And Colt Young is like, y'all thought, like, this is the boast of, you got Joey and Nick. You know, Nick came in hot on fire as a rookie. And then I ask you this question: who's better? Is it Joey or Nick at this point? I'm talking real life. Who's better, Joey or Nick?
Hmm. I'm about to go with Nick, man. I think Nick's in the best situation right
Yeah, I
now.
think so too. I think Knicks is better right now. I think we're looking at the same situation. Uh, Let me ask you this. So, have you seen this ever happen in the league? So you got Joey Bosa, Ohio State, right? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bosa, Ohio State, right?
Ohio State. Mm-hmm.
Chase Young, Ohio State, caught Young, Ohio State.
Yeah, it seems like they love. I guess if Ohio State was a phone service, they love the family plan that. You know what I mean?
Right. They got the family first plan over there. But Carlton's playing better football than his brother at this point right now. And it sucks because the person that coaches this team ain't playing his game, so the computer, this tells you how good this player really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if he was being man out there, he probably, I'm not saying he would have better numbers, because, computer can usually jump in front of some shit because, they're a computer. The computer make plays and shit. But Carl is balling right now.
I think Colt Young is not the better player. I just think he has the stats right now. I think Chase doesn't have the stats because everybody identifies where he is at all times and make sure they send the double teams there. So I don't think that the numbers are telling his real story. I think it's the opposite. He's had more. Colt has more one-on-one opportunities because the respect league wise is not there yet.
Right, I get what you're saying. And then when you playing the computer, especially if you play his computer, you ain't worrying about no damn DN. You out there playing, and he can sneak up on you because you ain't even worrying about him. So I get it. But the races here, those three, see how that works out. I do think this is a six-man race and not a three in the AFC. Now, the NFC, you got Cumberland, who lights out balling. Both of them from the West, though. Andrew Leonard is from that same division, balling out right now. And then veteran, Joey Bosa is saying, before I retire, I'm in the mix right now, in top three. Balling out. So Cumberland, Leonard, and Bosa at the defensive end positions, doing big things for their team. I think Joey Bosa will go to D tackle and will play another 2 to 3 seasons for the Bears, and I think he can still play at a high level at that D tackle position. All right, the linebackers: Devin Bush, Devin White. Then you're dealing with Michael Parsons, and they're your top three. But the Bucks, man, they invest in those linebackers and they play at a long. Been playing for a long time together, man. I think this is the result of them playing together for a long time. The moment they got Devin Bush out of free agency and teamed him up with Devin White, they had a really good tandem at linebacker. And the fact that they've been gelling together since season 2. And they've been on the same team doing it at a high level, man. You got two, when they came out in their draft class, they were the two fastest linebackers in the draft. Both of them sitting on the same team at this point now. And as veterans, they're holding this defense down right now. When you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their defense starts with that linebacker core, and then it gets to the secondary, which is solid as shit too over there. But the linebacker core has a lot of speed at that linebacker core with some seasoned veterans right now. Both of these guys are users. He does a good job with both of these guys. So shout out. But then Michael Parsons is a man of his own. I call him jack of all trades. Cowboys do a really good job moving him around and getting him, involved defensively. He makes a lot of plays for that Cowboys team. He's still the captain and still jack of all trades over there. Yes, sir. AFC linebackers are as follows. You got guys' names that you really don't know too much about, like a Cliff Odom, Teddy Bruschi, and then Evan Ware. You got computer, and then a player. Because even after that, you're going to see computer. So I'm not going to stay long on that linebacker group right now. So we go to the DBs. Israel, Stearns, Israel. Top three right now. All right, so is Stearns the best safety in the AFC? Who knows? Because Najee is playing at a high level. I think Stearns has been more consistent than Najee, but this year Najee got something to say about that, even though he's number 3 on this list. I don't know who's going to win this because at any moment Stearns can pick off the ball 4 or 5 times in the game. So this race, we're going to have to play it close, see what happens, but the top 3 on here are dogs. NFC, your DBs are as follow: Orlando Jordan, Samuel. So we got 2 diaper dandies and Keith David sitting at 3 right now. I think the race is still between these two. Depending on how 49ers finish off, man, I think, with Orlando being able to be back deep and, anything deep he coming after. But Samuels is locked on your best receiver. If you want to move the ball on the 49ers, you got to get your best player involved. So if your best receiver is locked on him, I think he got chances. He going to have a bunch of chances to close this thing out. Now, the coach said something to me about 5 advances ago. He told me, don't discredit him because you've seen him at safety. I never played him at safety at all. My bad, he was there on the roster. He's a cornerback and he's a shutdown. He's going to win defensive DB of the year. Definitely defensive rookie of the year. So let's see if it happens. You got 4 games to talk that shit you talking to make it come true. All right, fellas, we're not going no further than the awards. That's all I wanted to do tonight. Tomorrow, show during the afternoon, we're gonna talk about way more shit. I didn't get to my spin the wheel because the guy that does it with me is nowhere to be found. Other than that, my boy Guns came on the Balling with the Guru and took over the Balling with the Guru. This is not a show he co-hosts. He likes to enjoy this one. Came through and took that bitch over. You heard? Holla at us on the next time. Right there. Hi.